cared for. And let me tell you, actually, I remember my biggest fear was, how will I do this? I'm still in school. I mean, I don't have any financial income. I don't have any income. Hey, you're back. This is part 4 of a series of episodes.
Yeah.
I'm here with Kenjie. We've been sharing our story, just the ebbs and flows, the ups and downs, just a number of things that we've gone through our journey and the different seasons we've experienced. So if you haven't watched those, I'm just gonna ask you to go back so that you can just catch up and then flow with us. If you're continuing on with us, thank you for walking this journey with us. It just feels like we have the support with us. So welcome. This is Life Seasons. It's a conversational platform where every season of life
finds its voice.
Hey!
Hey, you may just make me a co-host.
You are. I mean, you shall show up very many times. And let me just share right now. I could be preempting, but the plan is to actually go on a series of sharing relationship stories, and that's what we're doing. So we are starting with ours, and we'll have other couples joining us to share their stories as well. So hey, a lot of things are coming up, so don't go away. Don't go away.
Good things, 2024.
Only good things.
Yeah.
So, hey, we've shared a lot.
I know.
But this is part 4.
Right.
And the question for part 4 is, what steps did you take to rebuild your relationship and create a better life for yourself, for the family that you have today, and anything else that you feel would be important. Think also, I don't know if this is a point we'll talk about forgiveness, but if it does fit in the space that we've set out for the episodes, then we can also talk about forgiveness and just how we grew through this experience. The last thing we shared is that, I mean, we're in this space, I've blocked you, but we're hardly talking. God is working on us separately. We're both feeling certain convictions. You're praying for me to have a change of heart. I'm praying for you, but with a shingo pande.
With a half heart.
With a half heart. We're writing lists. And I'm listening to Jesmaya Nini, you're listening to William McDowell, getting inspiration, getting the Spirit working in us and God doing a new thing. I love that you use that because it is exactly what He did. So what steps do you think you took? Like, you're praying with this group of new community that you're building. What steps do you think you now actively started to take? Additional, because these are also active steps. You've been baptized, by the way, at this point. Congratulations. That's a huge one.
So now, 2015. Funny thing is, since I started my cleanup, I hadn't received Christ. So 2015 marked the beginning or the official proclamation of Christ, right, in my life. So I remember telling Joe and Kina Eric, the Mulatis, that I think I want to get saved. I want to be baptized. I want to start life again. So I really didn't know what I was saying. Remember, I'm also a young believer. No, or rather, I'm now just going into. No, I wasn't a believer. But God was working a thing in me. Was working a thing in me slowly. So as he did his thing, and I remember what now they call the unction of the Spirit made me decide to get baptized. So that's after now the baptism, that's when now I started to realize that I have the strength to make different choices.
Yeah.
So one of the choices was to be relentless for you.
Yeah.
So what does relentless mean? Hot pursuit to get back my family. You know, deep down, as I mentioned, I always wanted to be a good husband and father. And this is based on a lot of things. One, I wanted to change the narrative I saw growing up. And my folks did their best. But the places, they just missed the mark. And like with any, even I know that the places definitely I am going to wound my children, because we're all fallen.
Yeah.
But the best thing I can do is point them to Christ, where they'll find their healing.
Okay.
So one thing that I said I will be is a great father. And I said I will make my marriage work. I will fight for it. I don't want to put myself in a situation where my kids will have to kind of choose who to listen to, or choose whether they want to be in this home or not. I just wanted to create a space for them. But remember, it's just a desire.
Yeah.
Even in a desire, you must take action towards the goals that you want. So basically that's what I started being prompted to do. Take action towards the goals that I want. So what are the goals that I wanted? One, be a great father, show up. So I tried showing up, and that's how I showed up at your gate, unexpectedly.
Yeah.
And unannounced.
It was after maybe like a period of.
It was after 6 months. So I know it. I remember it was about when our firstborn came in July. I went in around November, and I wasn't able to see her. And I remember just leaving shopping at the gate. I was at the gate for a hot minute. And please, you'll share your story.
Yeah.
I waited at the gate. So Mwende refused to open for me. So I just decided to leave and hang the shopping by the gate. And I went back. And I went back to report to my huddle. So the people
to your prayer group.
the people now, we are actively, this is like a mission. Like Kenjie must get back his farm. Campaign, put it on change.org.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a full blown, honestly, prayer campaign. And so I went back to my men, and I told them, guys, mission unsuccessful. I didn't get to see her, neither the child. But anyway, I left the shopping, and man, you know where you guys live. And I don't have a car, so I was driving. So I shopped all the way back in Galleria. I had to come with some other jobs that Mara Skuma, Mamboga next to you, carry it all the way to your gate. But you know what? At that time also, remember, life has humbled me. I am not taking anything for granted. So any chance that I can do right, I do it. And tenda mema, nenda zako. So I just decided to do what I can do, and I moved on. So that was it. I went. I was disappointed. I was like, okay, we'll try around another day. So at this time, even my relationships are starting to change. The people around me, my circle is starting. Some is the circle where my party peoples are starting to shrink, and I'm starting now to increase my circle of more believers. And then I'm also starting to adopt a lifestyle of reading the word and praying. I remember that times I used to kind of read and watch sermons in secret, and not because my family is against it. Don't get me wrong. It's just I felt like I wanted to protect this space, and I didn't want to show them outrightly my changes and the things that I'm desiring. But it was evident that I was changing.
Yeah.
Because times I would even meet with my old friends, my neighborhood friends.
Yeah.
I just feel like sharing the word, what I've been reading to do. And
the
also the sermons I've been listening to.
Something key is those sermons you are listening to, because I think when we finally met, we realized like there are so many similarities happening. Worlds apart, but so many similarities were happening. So I'd just love it if you shared what sermons you are listening to.
I don't think I can remember the topics, but
not the topic, like the people you are listening to.
The
Remember
people.
You said music you are listening to William McDowell.
Yes. So at this point, I used to listen to a lot of Joseph Prince. Joyce Meyer. So Joyce Meyer had this grace for you can do it. You can be who God calls you to be.
Right.
You can break off those barriers and shackles. And sometimes, because I'm still learning how to read the word for myself, I needed to feed off other preachers. And then also, there's a guy, the guy was solid word. And when I say solid word, doesn't mean the rest didn't have. It's just they leaned on the motivational side than the actual word itself. So there was this preacher called Andrew Womack. My gosh. First he had a Bible that looked like this pillow. He used to show up, he does this and starts reading a column like this. He used to be like, and someone can chambua the word of God like this. And then what was intriguing is that when I started reading God's word for myself, it's like it started connecting me, because I have love for history. And then before the word, I used to be a guy for conspiracy theories, I used to like a lot of new age stuff. So I started to slowly connect some of the knowledge I'd accumulated from a while back, and then starting to sift what is true and what's false. When it says the word is sharper than a double-edged sword, piercing through bone, marrow, judging the thoughts of our hearts. That word was cutting through. Like it's like when I've carried something, I'd read God's word just simply, not even at the heavy, like 2-3 lines, or sometimes if I go so much, maybe just that chapter. It has spoken to areas I need to change, people I need to forgive. Like, it was amazing. So it started now coming alive. It started coming alive, yes.
Let me just say, I mean, it's just so interesting. Like I said, just the things that were happening on the different ends. That thing for you listening to Joyce Meyer also at 1, and Joseph Prince also because
at
there
3.
was a certain time it was on 316. You used to listen to it on TV. Me, it was on radio. But let me even dare say that we were maybe listening to the same sermon.
It could be.
It could be. But I'm just so amazed. As in, of course, now I've been I got to know this now the day we met, which I'll just share shortly. I'm just so amazed at how, like, literally, I feel like God was writing this story, and I feel like God starts to write your story when you allow him in. I mean, he's there waiting, but we have to make the choice to let him in. And the minute, and you know what? There's a way that God can even use the story, the parts of the story that seem as though he was not there. But the truth is, he was always there. yes, he's seeing us mess up. Yes, he's seeing us make all these wrong choices. But the love and grace and mercy that he has, he's like, I'm going to use all of this. And glory, and all the glory goes unto him. Anyway, so I'm just amazed at how that was happening, especially the specific of listening to the same people, the same sermons, being fed by them. I don't know if it's just me, but it's just pretty interesting.
It is.
But I guess I can share what was happening on my side of things.
Yeah, go ahead.
So where shall I take it from? Yeah, so let me say again, like I have, family, I have my friends. I thank God for, especially my closest friends, had sober-minded women. Even as much as we also, took part in some of those wild adventures together, many of those wild adventures together, there's a way that when this situation came, there was so much wisdom around me, including from my friends, from my family. So me, I'm getting fed through all of this. So I remember our baby came, and not even forgetting how my friends threw a shower, and it was just so beautiful. And again, another day where I just felt so loved on and cared for. And let me tell you, actually, I remember my biggest fear was, how will I do this? I'm still in school. I don't have any I don't have any income. And that shower, I've just remembered why it was so significant, because it took care of literally everything I needed. Oh, tears coming. It took care of so many things that I needed. What? Clothes, diapers. I had diapers reaching CG wear. Clothes that my child wore till CG shows how old. I remember there's a friend of mine who was not in this country, sent a suitcase full of clothes.
Wow.
What is it? I think.
No. Sink into the moment. It is okay. Yeah.
She sent a suitcase full of beautiful clothes. Another one.
Who's that?
Maureen.
A suitcase.
A suitcase full of clothes.
Oh my gosh. God bless you, Maureen.
And Jolene had bags of clothes, and clothes carefully selected. Like, my child was stylish.
Yeah.
There's another lady, through the journey of raising my child, would just randomly call me, come, my daughters have grown these clothes, come. And it's not like one, and it's not just clothes, it's shoes, it's so many things. And this is just for anyone who is feeling like, how am I gonna do whatever it is that's ahead of you. God provides, and God makes a way.
He does.
We're literally where there seems to be no way, God makes a way, and He takes care of you. Takes care of you. We were so taken care of. My parents took care of the hospital bill, and my siblings as well, and the other things that I was literally sorted. And so anyway, just gosh, I'm even at a loss of words, but I'm just telling this story is just reminding me how I need to keep thanking God. I'm in awe of His.
No, God has been good.
Goodness.
He has been good to us.
And His love is abounding. Then I remember. Let me fast forward a little bit. so I remember, as I mentioned before, I'm praying for you at a distance. I'm getting convicted to pray for you at a distance. This dilemma came when my child was slightly older, and I went through this parenting class. I wanted to have her go through the to be dedicated in church. And the church I was attending at the time, the requirement is you go through a parenting class and then have the baby dedication. So I remember, I went to the class, and then now, thinking baby dedication is coming up some Sundays ahead. So I remember I'm just feeling this dilemma within me, because I'm like, as in, how am I gonna do this without the father present? And I don't know, I was just feeling like, what happens when my child grows up, sees that it was just me, and now the friends I invited, they say you can invite like a friend couple who can stand in as godparents, or and so the dilemma within me was happening. I'm like, what do I do? So I remember one Sunday, this church had a habit of, after every service, they would have their prayer, the guys in the prayer ministry come to the front, and if you had any prayer item, something that you wanted to have prayed for, you could go and share, and someone would pray with you. Yeah. I honestly think every church should apply this, because people come to church carrying heavy burdens. That day I went to the front, and I went to this lady. Like you go and you go to whoever is empty. In fact, that lady was not on the line. Every person who was praying for somebody was full. Like everybody had. Every person who was praying had somebody they were praying for. And so I just sat at an empty seat at the front, now waiting for an open slot. So there's a lady who was in the worship team who noticed, and I think the pastor also noticed that I was waiting. And I think he went to the stage, discussed with them, the worship guys, and this lady now came to now stand there and came to me and say, are you waiting to have someone pray with you? I'm like, yeah. She's like, she can do it. Okay. I used to take a breather, because if I continue, other tears will come.
Tears are welcome. Tears are welcome.
Another thing that I'm just like, God. So, of course, the first thing you have to do is share with this person what's the situation. What's the situation? What do you want to pray for? So I tell her, I'm a single mom. I got pregnant, I'm a single mom, father, the child is not in the picture, but I'm feeling this dilemma because baby dedication is coming, and I'm just wondering, what do I do? Something of the sort. I obviously can't remember verbatim, but something of the sort. And then she just tells me, I've been through the same thing. Yeah. I'm just like, let me tell you, I cried on that lady's shoulder. I left all the mucus and all the tears on her shoulder. She'd been through the same thing. She was still a single mom. But I just felt, when you feel hard, this feeling of being, as in, it's almost like, I don't know how to explain it, but I can't even remember what she shared, but I left there feeling like a burden had been lifted off. And it's like I now knew the next thing I needed to do. And that's the time. So that's the time I sent you a text and told you I'm available. So just to note that.
But it was on a Sunday?
No, it wasn't a Sunday. So after, next steps after this is when I now just sent you a text, because now, just take it back to, you shared you'd left shopping at the gate. This guy has left shopping at the gate. There was a long letter you'd written. Oh back. Yes, and I left a gift as well. A gift for the baby. Yeah, I remember that. Let me just pack that where I've left church. feeling weight lifted off, and like I know the next thing to do. Park that right there. Let me take you back a bit. That day he left stuff at the gate. I mean, he had not been there I had not seen him in a long time. And then he's knocking at the gate. I'm alone in the house with the baby. I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. I remember calling my brother-in-law. He just asked me, are you ready to see him? No. Okay, that's all. And I'm like, yeah,
I see you, bro.
You're right. I'm not ready to see him. I do not feel like I have to now that he's shown up. Like I need to now take care of me anyway. So I didn't open that day. Then you'd left shopping, the letter. I remember and a Bible for our daughter, which we still have.
Yeah.
And I remember you'd written first the letter, 2 full scarps, just apologizing and pouring your heart in there. Remember, I mean, you'd mentioned God a couple of times in there. Even the
was
Bible.
Was it strange?
So
but the fact that
triggering.
That I mentioned like, God, okay.
Sasa utatumia jina ya Mungu. Now is when you know how to use the name of the Lord. Where was he when you were hurting me? No, for real. That's actually how I felt. I'm like, please, this is not going to work. So thank you, but no thanks. Yeah. And even the buying the Bible, I'm like, really like just the contrast of the person. And so of course I was judging you from what I knew.
From the past.
From what you had done and the pain you'd caused me. And so so you show up that day, I didn't open. Something else you're also doing is sending emails, because you can't text, you can't call.
Yeah.
You are sending emails. Still the same thing, apologizing, asking to meet. So back to where I had parked this story. Pick it right at back. I left that day knowing what to do. So I send you a text sometime during that week and say, I'm available.
Yeah. Do you know, even I remember where I was standing in the dining room,
really?
And my phone was charging. So I had the text coming in.
Yeah.
So I just went, picked my phone quickly, because I thought I was also meant to be meeting a friend later on that day. So I thought he was now telling me where we're going to meet. So to open,
you're like,
I'm like, is this for real? Pinch me. I called immediately. Immediately. Like even before I finished the last, because you asked me, are you available?
No, I said I'm available.
Oh, you said
didn't ask about you. I was just like, I'm available. That was it. I am available.
Let me tell you, strike when the iron is hot. Fellas, the pro tip. When you're in a quagmire, in a situation,
tell them.
Go for it. It's only, if you get that space, mwanya, penya. So that was it. So I called immediately. But there, and I was calling, I was also shaking, because I'm like, I haven't spoken to you in a while. I don't know what headspace you are in. And then, of course, I know you already have a preconceived mind about me based on what I'd done and, just skating out on you guys.
Yeah.
So I was also nervous. But I remember the conversation. We didn't even talk much. You just said, we meet. You
asked, where can we, where, when, what time?
Okay, yes.
Then now I think we agreed. You said, okay, we agreed on the time. Then
and it must have been like the next day. Or was it?
So, or the same day, I think, or the next day. I'm not sure, but I remember you said you decide on the place. Then you decide on.
It must have, because it happened so quick. It either the same day.
Yeah.
Because
I think it was the same day.
Yes.
Yeah.
It must have been the same day.
Yeah. So we met.
Wow.
We met that same day. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And I remember that day when we met. Hey, first tulichagua location. A very nice location.
Inaweza kuwa una loan. Unajua shida wanaume unaweza jikaza at your own expense.
One of those fully buying needs.
But to be quite honest, I was like, this one, this is my chance to redeem myself. Like, I just felt you've given me a clean slate and an opportunity to prove who I've become. Yeah, so I wasn't taking chances. I wasn't doing it half-heartedly. I was going all out, and I was aiming for the jugular. I was going for it. So took you out on a nice date.
Yeah, took me out on a nice date. We met. Again, another thing that's so interesting about that day is like my anger and bitterness was packed somewhere on the side. Yeah. Because I was just, it's like we hit it off where we left off when everything was great and beautiful and nice and dandy.
Yeah, correct.
We just hit it off, talked, caught up. You're updating me about your life. I'm updating you about like what's going on, I guess. But I think mostly you are doing a lot of the updating, I think. Yeah. And I remember as you were talking, remember that list? So this guy is updating me about how he went back to do this program again. He served twice. Remember I said someone who serves in church. Tick. He's telling me how he got convicted, cleaned up his music, cleaned up his not even drinking anymore. Remember those things I wrote in that list? I'm like, okay, I wasn't taking at that time, but when in post that date, I remember going to that notebook and being like, oh my God, like what? You mean to tell me you sent me the same guy but different? That's what.
That's a powerful statement.
Yeah.
He sent you, it's the same guy.
Same guy.
But I came in a different aura.
Yeah, it came different. And I felt it, I saw it, I had it in that moment. Yeah. And that was just another, and I think that was also the beginning of us now starting afresh, starting again, rebuilding. And now walking towards redemption. So
we're moving into the chapter of rebuilding.
Right.
Rebuilding. And there is a backstory.
The season of rebuilding.
The season of rebuilding.
Wordplay.
Yeah. And there was something happening also within me during that time, because I've now started opening the word for myself. So now I'm not being fed by pastors.
Yeah.
I used to wake up early in the morning, like in the wee hours, consistently, lights on, read, pray, even when I'm not even sure what I'm doing. It did something in me.
Yeah. We're gonna take a pause right there, end of part 4. I'm about to start losing count. End of part 4. Yeah. This was just a recap, trying to bring you guys up to speed. We've taken through on the ride with us.
Right.
And so, as you've called it, the next parts to come will be the season of rebuilding. And I guess we'll get to how we are here today. So again, you do not want to go away. So please subscribe, please share, please like, leave a comment as well. Encourage,
leave a comment. Yeah.
Also something I'd love, share your experiences as well. Tell us if you relate with anything you've had here today, anything that sparks you, anything that's encouraging you. Because if there's one thing we definitely want to do is to equip, to encourage, to empower, and just to leave you guys knowing and hearing, if there's nothing else you've had, like you're never too far from the love of God. Never too far. So just let him love on you. Open your heart and allow him into your life it will change. Will it be smooth? Not always,
Yeah.
but your life will change. We love you. Imagine I love you.
Pour your heart. If that's how you feel about them, tell them.
I'm just feeling mush. I love you guys. See you on the next
See you on the next one.
parts of this series. Bye.
All right, cheers.